It is a docudrama called Heavy, which will follow 22 individuals facing extreme life-threatening health consequences as a result of their weight, and the one-hour series will be following them. This is not a contest, so it's not like Biggest Loser or anything like that. It's just really going into the lives of these individuals, telling their stories, and watching in detail as they try to take on this issue in their life and try to overcome it. We don't know exactly when he will be featured as the series starts tonight, but Bill Searcey is going to be one of the people that will be documented in this docudrama Heavy on A&E, which premieres tonight, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Bill Searcey, welcome to the Rick and Bubba Show. How are you?
Thank you, guys. Great.
Boy, your story is, we definitely don't want to steal all of A&E's thunder when they get to your story, but...
And that's tonight.
Yeah.
Go ahead and steal their thunder.
Yeah, steal the thunder.
Yeah.
But you have a fascinating story. You are from Savannah, Georgia.
That's right.
And took a football scholarship to the University of Alabama, and you were there during some incredible years, 78 through...
76 through 80.
76 through 80.
Yeah.
And I know that you had the pleasure of playing with Rich Wingo and being his roommate, who's a great friend here. And, boy, if you're ever going to have a friend, he's one to have.
Absolutely. He's been one for a long time.
And then you played a little pro ball in the USFL and then NFL, and then your life kind of took a turn.
Well, it did. Like so many people, I got involved with the wrong things and the wrong people, and got involved in the drug world, and using and selling and all the things that goes along with that, and went through a long period of time where I was having a tough time, and then went to a rehab, got sober and stayed sober for about 10 years, got married, and had a child who's sitting with me today.
Hey,
my son, Woody Searcey.
What's up, Woody?
Hey.
And he's a little upset because he didn't have a biscuit yet this morning. So y'all bear with him if he starts slinging furniture.
Hey, I understand.
I knew
I'm
you would.
with you, brother.
But he's heard this story, so I'm not too bashful about telling it. He was born in probably about the time he was 7 years old. I was in the commercial real estate business here in Birmingham, doing well, and thought I had what I thought was a pretty much perfect life, and started feeling rough, started feeling depressed. You know, I was in my 40s and early 40s, and for no good reason, and had a legitimate medical problem, had a kidney stone, and went to the hospital and gave me a shot of pain medicine, and boy, that solved not only the pain but that depression thing, and that just got me off and running. And so from the time for about 10 or 11 years off and on, I was addicted to pain medicine, and ended up bankrupt. I lost my marriage and my child, and ended up living in a car, for a long story short.
Wow.
Here in Birmingham, and living on the street. And 4 years ago, just 4 years ago, my ex-wife came to me and said that she had a place that she wanted me to try to go, because I'd already been to all the rehabs and the halfway houses and the county jail and all that stuff. And I said, I'm not. She said it's called Canaan Ministries. Well, I didn't know much about the Bible, but I knew Canaan land was somewhere in there. Right. And I knew that at that time I didn't want any part of that.
Right.
So I said, I'm really not interested. She said, well, maybe you ought to talk to your son. And so Woody came to me, and he was 14.
Wow.
And he said, Dad, are you going to go to Canaan land? And I said, no, I don't think so. I said, I don't want to be away from you for a whole year. He said, Dad, you've been away from me for a long time.
Wow.
And even when you're with me, you're not with me. And he said, if I can give you up for one more year to have you for the rest of my life, I'll be happy.
Wow,
and
that's
so from the
a lot of wisdom for a
14-year-old, and the kindness of my ex-wife, I got to Canaan land down in Otagoville, Alabama, and it's a Bible training center. It's not a rehab. And I started out from nothing to literally nothing, with a bag of clothes and whatever I had on my back, and I weighed about 540 pounds when I got there.
Wow.
And it's a year program, and it's 3 Bible classes a day, and praise and worship in the morning at 7, and another Bible class at night. And it's, Jesus in the morning, Jesus in the afternoon, and Jesus in the evening. Which is what I needed. As far as I'm concerned, this won't go over well. I'm sure I'll get some emails on this one, but it's what everybody needs.
Amen.
And whether you have a problem or not, like I had. But anyway, so
well, everybody's got a problem.
Absolutely, it's just the extent of it, and if they want to talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
So.
It's called Heavy, and you're like, okay, here's another show about people who need to lose weight. This was not a competition. It really goes deep into each individual's life. And, of course, Bill has just shared with us, and if you missed it, go back and try to catch it again. In a nutshell, his testimony, successful football player, involved in drugs, then tried to be a family man without resolving that issue. Got addicted to painkillers, found himself after being a successful businessman, bankrupt, over 540 pounds, living in a car. And his son, who's here with us today, came to him at 14 and asked that he go into a spiritual-based rehab that, as Bill was very frank, said it really had nothing to do with drug addiction. It had to do with getting your life right spiritually,
right, which
magically seemed to give you the power over the addiction and make you look at yourself in a different way. And so now you have the A&E special. Now, after your spiritual walk began, another man came to you and said, "Hey, you got to do something about your physical." Mm-hmm. And at your weight, I mean, you're walking. You could drop dead at any time, and you're not going to be any good to anybody at 540 pounds.
Yeah.
So show Bubba the shorts here.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? These are the shorts. These shorts you wore when?
This was the first day I got to South Carolina to film the show.
The show Heavy. Look at those.
Oh my gracious!
What size are those, Bill?
Big.
Real big.
Real big.
I mean, those.
Look, Bill, don't throw those away. Will you just leave them here when you go?
Why does that make you feel better?
No, I may need them before it's over.
Look here, I know the people on Heavy.
Yeah. Well, Bill, and Bubba and I can relate to this. Thankfully, we've never been to that kind of weight, but we do struggle with our weight. It's been an ongoing process, on and off, and it's difficult. It's extremely hard for those who have it, and a lot of it is a self-control issue in the area of food and exercise and things of that nature. But can you? I mean, I don't know how much you can share. I know that we're not going to share your total weight loss. The show said that they want to do that, but tell us the process. What are the things that you've done that you've seen the best results from that you can live with? It's got to be something you can live with.
Exactly.
And you're just going to go right back.
You just hit the nail on the head. Well, let me start out by saying this: is that as far as I'm concerned, there's 22 people involved in this show. There were 12 of us in one group that filmed in South Carolina, 10 in Texas. I don't know the Texas folks. I do know the South Carolina people well. And all amazing stories, everybody coming through whatever their own issues were. You just heard some of mine. But I felt like from the very beginning that I had a little advantage over at least the 12 that I was with. And here's why. Is because for 4 years prior to filming, I had been being worked out and trained and strengthened up spiritually. And I come to the realization during the filming of the show, and also now even more so, that if I had not had that ammunition inside of me, if I had not tried to make that change and continued every day to try to make that change, that I would not be successful in the filming and the weight loss. But I think you can transfer all of that, whether it's weight loss or drugs or alcohol or whatever your problems are, and we all have them, some worse than others, that unless you make the spiritual change, the change the part that people don't see before you change the part that people do see, if you don't make that change, then whatever change you make is totally superficial. You may look good on the outside, but you'll be miserable and ugly on the inside. And you can say what you want to say and agree or not agree with me. I firmly believe that. So we started filming, and they started, you had 12 fat people on 1,200 calories a day. That's ugly. That's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's some bad moods.
So, Bill, before this, how much did you eat a day? Just kind of what would a daily intake look like?
Wow. I mean,
a bunch?
I wish I'd have brought the picture of I sent a casting picture to him when I was trying to get on the show of a daily living at Canaan land. We have a commercial kitchen there, and it cooks, good cooks. One of my favorite snacks, which y'all will be able to appreciate this, is I used to have a stack of bologna, and it was like I do like pancakes. Sliced bologna, put a piece of bologna, piece of cheese, piece of bologna, piece of cheese, and I'd stack them like this, and with cheese, and then put a little mustard mayonnaise on it and eat them like pancakes. And so I probably was.
I never even thought of that before.
Yeah, wow. You need to try it, though.
Pretty creative.
You need to try it.
I like a few layers of toast in there too.
Well, I hadn't tried the bread, but man, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
It helps.
It'll get you to 540 pounds.
Right.
Quick, really quick.
He is one of 22 people that will be documented on A&E's special Heavy. He's told us his story. A lot of you have questions about it. Chad, Poplar Bluff, Missouri, listening to us. And Chad, you're on with Bill Searcey. Go right ahead, brother. Thanks for your patience.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing good, Chad. Go right ahead, man.
Hey, I just want to encourage you to keep up the good work. Rick and Bubba, you guys talk about God and spiritual things on the radio, and I really find a strength in that. I'm a truck driver, and I tell you what, it really encourages me.
Thank you.
And I want to agree with Bill that you do have to work on the inner man first, and then the Lord will give you strength to work on that outer man. I firmly believe that.
And you were talking about that's really the key. I mean, and it is interesting. Even those of us who are people of faith, we're constantly telling people who have drug addictions, until you get this spiritually solved, you'll never overcome that addiction. And we talk about all these things fixing marriages. It's a spiritual problem. And then it gets to weight loss, and we go, well, it's not a spiritual problem. It must be something else.
Right. I mean, it's
there must not be any strength over that in spiritual work.
It was interesting that they decided to call the show Heavy, because I realized once again during the filming and as we moved towards the end after hearing other people's story that heavy was not only related to our body weight, but I saw people releasing things that were heavy on their heart.
Amen.
And things in their life that they had dealt with. I mean, we had one guy who has post-traumatic stress from being in the service, and I mean that had a lot to do. And he had people, bad childhood, bad marriage, whatever, and they were heavy. It was heavy on their heart. And so I can tell you that when I lived in a car, there were lots of things besides just being fat. I mean, there were lots of things that were heavy on my heart. Right. And obviously we all work on it every day. I still do too. And I still going to have to go back. I've lost a lot of weight, but I told you a while ago, my worst nightmare is I don't want to be back on Rick and Bubba in a year, and y'all ask me why I'm back at 540.
Right.
And that can happen. And look here, it's not beyond the realm of possibility in this world that you hear people all the time talking about getting off drugs, but then you hear them back in the car, living in a car on the street again. I've been through all that, don't want to do it again, and I know there's only one way for me not to do that again, and it's not Bill Searcey, it's Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Sheila in Vestavia Hills, Alabama. Welcome to the program. 30 seconds on with Bill Searcey. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Bill, I want to first congratulate you for overcoming these obstacles that you have faced in your life. It's an amazing story.
Thank you.
But I want to focus back on the spiritual aspect, if I could. When you were going through the weight loss, was there any particular verse, I like to call them life verses, that you were given to focus on to keep you motivated and staying on track?
Well, not so much during the weight loss, but when I first went to Canaan land, and part of our responsibility there was to learn Scripture, and Matt Gober, who's the founder, made sure that we were studying Scripture every week, and thank God for that. And the first one I ever learned, and because it was simple, and I had burned a whole bunch of brain cells when I got there, and I could only remember one. It was Jeremiah 33:3. I hope I just said that right. But it says, "Call upon me, and I'll answer thee, and show you great and mighty things that you know not of." And that was the one I remembered and still remember, and it's the one I go back to quite a bit in my own life, is that, I'm forever constantly calling on him. And you know what? He constantly shows me great and mighty things that I never had any idea I could do. And, it started off back 4 years ago, and that even rolls over to I begged, pleaded, and prayed to get on one of these shows, and lo and behold, got on the show. And quite honestly, these guys don't even know this. I've been listening to this radio show since the beginning. I used to have to walk around the house with a radio to get y'all from Gaston, And who that many years ago did I ever think that, well, I'll be sitting on Rick and Bubba with Rick and Bubba and Speedy and the whole gang? Because, so whatever I've asked for, as long as I'm doing the right things, I get it.